Hi all, we've got an interesting flight today. I decided that because, you know, this big celebration thing that Christmas brings, it's a sort of a Christian thing, and I'm not really a Christian, so I'm not Muslim, I'm not religious. I'm just, yeah. I believe in science, but I don't believe a man in the sky does anything. So, what I wanted to do was to do the what I believed in, which was the old pagan way of doing things, the Druids. Still don't believe in any of the religion, but I like the way they worship the earth. That's something that tends to get forgotten by most religions. It's all about, you know, getting one up on when you die, and paganism, as people call it, which is not paganism, it's just the way they lived in a certain time, was much more akin to how I feel about life. So I'm going to do the 12 Days of Solstice, but I'm not going to fly all those 12 days up until the 25th. So today is our first day of the 12 Days of Solstice, and I'm going to fly around pagan, as people might call them. I'm going to call them Celtic from now on, I think. Or Bronze Age. Yeah, I'm going to fly around Bronze Age monuments in Britain and Ireland and France. I'm going to go to Carnac. Obviously, the solstice will be the 21st this year, and it will be Stonehenge I'll be flying to, and hovering over in a helicopter. And so the idea is we fly a jet, take a jet down there to the nearest airport, then fly a local airfield from the main airport in a smaller aircraft or helicopter. So today we're going to fly to Dublin, and we are going to do the first day's challenge. And because I only thought it up earlier, I've only done one. You'll see that in a second. That is not light shining through the windows, that is the sun breaking through the clouds, believe it or not. I was trying to hide that thing though. And of course, Aer Lingus, the Irish have got a reputation for the old whiskey now there. And it wouldn't be complete if the Aer Lingus lounge didn't have a half overturned lorry outside it. So this is Terminal 2 at Heathrow. The Aer Lingus lounge is in there somewhere. And I don't know which one the normal gate is, normally A1 I think. I have no idea which one is A1, but I've just parked it here, and yeah, we're going to fly from here. This is EINSC, so we're going to take this, we're going to fly over to Dublin, and then we're going to do the 12 Days of Solstice. We're going to go to Newgrange. Now interestingly, the solstice is generally measured by the shortest day, but in reality, the Bronze Age peoples were, I think, more concerned about the moon than they were the sun. And I think it was a case of it's the shortest day, and you celebrate the next day after that because it's, yes, the days are getting longer, so we're okay again. So the longest night and the shortest day are the two key things here. And the shortest night is on the 20th, and the shortest day is the 21st. Yeah, I had to write a spreadsheet and calculate it all, just so I could work, because I couldn't work out. It's just like, oh yeah, it's the 21st. Well, yeah, what night is it? What's the longest night? There's nothing on there to tell me that, so I had to tap in the numbers myself, and then come up with this, which is 16 hours, 22 minutes and 25 seconds on the 20th. So the night of the 20th to the 21st is the longest night, and the shortest day is the 21st of December. So today we're flying to Newgrange on the first of our 12 flights. We know what 1 is, we know what 12 is. I don't know what they're going to be. They're going to be interesting. I'm going to go to Carnac, definitely. I've been to Carnac in real life. I walked up and down several of the rows of stones, which some of them go on for 2-3 kilometres. They're really long. So many stones. And it was an extremely interesting experience. I got back and my photographs, I took photographs like I'd step forwards and take a photograph, step forwards, take a photograph. And I've got like 130, 140 photos from Carnac. And when I got back, the pictures got... yeah, someone at the time, who should remain nameless because it wasn't really her fault, but she put all the pictures together, but she took them out of the packs, so I no longer knew which negatives went with which pictures. So I've got no idea. So one day I will stitch them all together, but it's just going to take forever. So Carnac, that's the one that's on the coast of France and in Brittany, and it's very interesting because the lanes point in certain directions, and I think that's quite important, as is all of this. So Newgrange is also important, but not as important as something near it, which I will now show you. So we're going to go flying to Dublin, local Dublin. We've got Dowth Hall, which is nearby, which is this one here. So just a little grass strip, which is near Dowth, and then Newgrange is over here. Newgrange is the most well known, I guess, because it's quite a big... it's not really a big monument, but it's got a big facade, and the interesting thing about it is... well, we'll get on to that in a minute. So anyway, we've got these 3 to go to. We've got Newgrange, and we've got Dowth. Dowth is a small circle which is mainly just trees, overgrown now. But Knowth is, or Knowth, I don't know how you pronounce it, is the most amazing place. It's the place that has the most Bronze Age pictures, diagrams, art in the whole of Europe. And I say that, but I'm not sure, because I don't know if Göbekli Tepe has any more. But Knowth has such a large amount, it's ridiculous. And I will put some pictures of that and stuff later on. So we're going to fly into Dublin. We're going to go from Dublin up to Dowth Hall. And we're going to probably land at Dowth Hall. And then take off and fly around Newgrange. And then from Newgrange we'll go up to Knowth. From Knowth we'll go back to Dowth. And then from Dowth we'll go back to Dublin. Yeah, so this is Newgrange. This is the thing that gets everybody. This is what's mostly famous, is because on one side of the mound is this massive wall of stone, whereas Knowth, it's not as impressive as a monument in itself, but it is actually much more impressive as a monument. It has I don't know what you call it. It's got a light shaft that allows sun in on only the solstice, and that is very impressive. Also, it has all these little tumuli around it. Newgrange had a wooden circle here, roughly, I think. I believe these will be the same as at Stonehenge. You got woodhenge, although Stonehenge is quite far away from woodhenge. These two are right next to each other, which is quite amazing in itself. I don't know what this is, but the wooden circle was very big. I think it was bigger than Newgrange Mound, and I think these are probably posts, concrete posts, like they were at, like I say, woodhenge, that mark where the old stones used to be. Stones? Oh, the old wooden posts used to be, because it's a woodhenge, same as woodhenge is a woodhenge. And it made me think, well, maybe Stonehenge was supposed to be like this, where it had the wooden outside, and then Stonehenge should have been covered by a barrow type mound. I never was. I don't know. We'll never know, possibly. So, we're going to go to Newgrange, then we'll go to Knowth, and then we'll yeah, I mean, look at this, it's just like a tiny little circle there which is all covered in trees. It's going to be epic. Well, not epic, it's for me, but for everyone else it'll just be watching me fly around some crappily done mounds of earth. But I'll talk about it and I'll put pictures up, and it's going to be interesting in itself as a little history thing. So the 12 Days of Solstice kicking off with Journey 1 and Exploration 1 around these three monuments. So the winds aren't too bad. There's a little bit of a wind kicking up. It's like mid. I guess we can do 35 cross to 37 max, and we've got 13. And at Dublin, I think it's quite low. Yeah, Dublin is like 12 or something. Yeah, even lower than that. Not even 10. Heathrow is going to be 14 or so. Got another one coming in. People don't understand that just like that around the Atlantic, and then the hurricanes go up the side past New York, over Newfoundland, over the top, and then into Ireland, and then Britain. So Carnac's, I think it's on this little spit here, but it could be that one. It's near Comper. It could be it's one of these spits anyway. I'll find out later. So I'll probably do that. Might be my Christmas Eve one. We'll see how I feel. We're definitely going to do something up the Isle, like the Hebrides and the Isle of Skye, and maybe as far as. Yeah, I don't want to go any further than that. Really, don't want to go Danish, Icelandic, Norwegian. But if I find something interesting over here, then we'll go and have a look at those. I do have 12 to fill, and we've only got 3 so far. Okay, so that's that. The wind's okay. We're leaving Heathrow on 9 left because the wind's from the opposite way. It's almost always west to east in Britain, but today it's east to west, so we're going to go 9 left instead of 27 right. We're going to go Ulti, so that's Ultib. 9 left. We're going to fly all the way through, and then we're going to fly into Vatteroo. 10 left into Dublin. I don't know why that says 25. Ultib. Straight off, swing left, past Big Inn, over to Ultib. And then Vatteroo. So we're looking for Ibiza or Suboff. There we go, Suboff. So in, around, and then back in. Transitions to 5,000 at both ends, I believe. That's one of the things that annoys me about the sim, is because transition altitude is 18, it's flight level 180 in America, and in most of Europe it's around 4 to 5,000 to 6,000 ish. Transition is 6 for this departure. So we're going to be flying up to 6,000, then changing over to standard altimeter for the pressure. So let's get underway.
Ground Speedbird 1484, requesting the end of pushback. Speedbird 1484, request to end.
So we're finished with that. And finished with that.
Taxiing hold short runway 09er right via taxiway Tango Whiskey Sierra Sierra 11 Speedbird 139er 4 heavy.
So the radio nav page, that's a bit of a word. When you set off, it keeps local ILS in case you have to do an emergency landing. So if you have to land back at where you left, it leaves ILS in local mode so that you can do that easily. And then when you get further towards your destination, as you close into your destination, it switches over to your destination ILS. Flight plans in, let's get permission.
Speedbird 177 taxi to and hold short of runway 09er right via taxiway Romeo Bravo Lima 51 Alpha Lima 52 Yankee November 11 November Bravo 11. Contact tower on 118.705 when ready. Speedbird tree 14 continue taxi. Taxi to and hold short runway 09er right using taxiway Golf Foxtrot Lima Tree 6 Echo Bravo Lima 51 Alpha Lima 52 Yankee November 11 November Bravo 11 Speedbird 1484. Roger Speedbird tree 14. Taxi to and hold short runway 09er right via taxiway Romeo Bravo Lima 51 Alpha Lima 52 Yankee November 11 November Bravo 11 Speedbird 177.
Heathrow ground Shamrock Echo India 156 ready to copy IFR clearance to Dublin.
Shamrock Echo India 156 is cleared to Dublin Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 09er left, climb and maintain 7,000 feet. Departure frequency is 118.475 squawk tree 762.
Shamrock Echo India 156 cleared to Dublin Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 09er left, climb and maintain 7,000 feet. Departure on 118.475 squawk tree 762.
Shamrock Echo India 156 readback is correct. Contact ground on 121.705 when ready to taxi. Good day. Heathrow ground Speedbird 107 Heavy requesting pushback. Speedbird 107 Heavy pushback request accepted.
30.47. Okay. That truck's still there. Maybe he's just sleeping it off.
Heathrow ground ground Shamrock Echo India 156 with India ready to taxi IFR.
Shamrock Echo India 156 taxi to and hold short of runway 09er left via taxiway. Kilo Bravo Lima Tree 0 Alpha Delta Bravo Yankee Alpha Lima 56 Lima 57 Alpha 1 Tree Alpha Bravo 1 Tree. Contact tower on 118.505 when ready.
Taxiing hold short runway 09er left via taxiway Kilo Bravo Lima Tree 0 Alpha Delta Bravo Yankee Alpha Lima 56 Lima 57 Alpha 1 Tree Alpha Bravo 1 Tree Shamrock Echo India 156.
Heathrow ground Speedbird 107 Heavy with India ready to taxi IFR.
So we're here at Terminal 2.
107 Heavy taxi to and hold short of runway 09
And we're going out on
taxiway Yankee Alpha Lima 5 Tree Yankee November 11
Kabluffy Addidaby.
Contact tower on 118.705 when ready. Taxiing hold short runway 09er right via taxiway Yankee Alpha Lima 5 Tree Yankee November 11 November Bravo 11 Speedbird 107 Heavy.
So link 30. So if it says taxiway A, we're definitely not taking. Yeah, link 30, then taxiway A DB. So we're not going to be doing that. We're going to be going on this one.
Airbus Victor Golf India 1 Tree Tree with India ready to taxi IFR. Airbus Victor Golf India 1 Tree Tree taxi to and hold short of runway 09er left using taxiway Tango Whiskey Sierra Sierra 5 Whiskey Cross runway 27 left November 5 Whiskey Romeo Bravo Foxtrot Golf Echo Bravo Delta Alpha Lima 57 Alpha 1 Tree Alpha Bravo
Wow.
1 Tree.
I wouldn't want to be them.
Contact
Wow.
tower on 118.5
That's even worse than our bloody instructions for taxiing.
Heathrow ground Shamrock Echo India 156 requesting pushback tug to steer the aircraft to the right.
Shamrock Echo India 156, your request has been transmitted to the operator. Taxiing hold short runway 09er left
Yeah,
using
just make sure
taxiway
that's
Tango
on,
Whiskey
that's on.
Sierra Sierra 5 Whiskey Cross
Okay.
runway 27 left November 5 Whiskey Romeo Bravo Foxtrot Golf Echo Bravo Delta Alpha Lima
Good to go.
57 Alpha 1 Tree Alpha Bravo 1 Tree Airbus 1 Tree Airbus 1 Tree Tree hold position. Caution the departing Cessna Skyhawk. Airbus 1 Tree Tree continue taxi. Taxiing to gate 507 via taxiway, Hotel Bravo Lima 55 Alpha, United 9er 2 Tree Heavy. Rotor Airbus 1 Tree Tree.
So technically, all those, that taxiway there is all
Airbus 1
closed
Tree
for
Tree, hold
construction.
position. Caution the departing Airbus A20N. Heathrow ground Speedbird 22 Tree Heavy, requesting pushback.
This is why I ignored the blue line. I went this way.
Pushback request accepted.
I like my motion to be at least a little bit immersive.
Hold position Airbus 1 Tree Tree. Airbus 1 Tree Tree, hold position. Caution the Airbus A20N on final.
Heathrow Tower Shamrock Echo India 156 at runway 09er left ready for departure IFR to Dublin.
Shamrock Echo India 156, QNH Tree 0.48, wind 040 at 10. Traffic is Airbus A20N on final. Cleared for takeoff runway 09er left.
Cleared for takeoff runway 09er left Shamrock Echo India 156.
Speedbird 501 Heavy, follow the aircraft on final. Wind 040 at 10. Clear to land runway 09er left. Tower Speedbird 67 Heavy at runway 09er left, ready for departure.
Yeah, it's getting confused. It thinks we've only got 3 tons of fuel on board.
Speedbird 67
So that's what that message is. It's saying emergency fuel on board is below the minimum needed. So, that's so we're using a flex.
Hold short runway 09er left Speedbird 67 Heavy. Echo India 156, contact London Center on 118.475. Good day.
Clear to Lima, Alpha Mike. Speedbird Tree 6 Heavy, you are 10 miles west of Heathrow. Contact Heathrow Tower on 1.
So we're through 5,000, gone to standard barometer.
Speedbird Niner 40 traffic.
I can't contact control because they keep talking.
1 mile, 500 feet Airbus A20N. Report them in sight.
London Center Shamrock Echo India 156 is it.
Speedbird 22 Tree Heavy, have the traffic.
Yep, so it thinks we've got 2 tons of fuel.
Speedbird 6 Tree 2 Heavy, have the traffic.
It's not very good. Yep, because for some reason it's cleared our tanks out of fuel. Why on earth would it do that? Ridiculous. This is the problem with Microsoft Flight Sim. It just doesn't like being told things that aren't what it wants to be in control, let's put it like that. So all that time doing that is all just completely wasted.
Speedbird 22 Tree Heavy traffic is 3 o'clock 3 miles at 2,300 feet Airbus A20N. Report them in sight. Air India 128 Heavy climb and maintain.
So I just reviewed the video and I know what went wrong. It's my fault for not rechecking it. That's one of the main rules is recheck, check, recheck, check, recheck.
By a Zaxo transition.
I did not recheck. So when we started we had 9.5 tons of fuel on board. I changed that to 12 tons and then thought I hit the play button to start the refueling process. But what the sim did was the sim took over and put in its own minimum fuel level, which was 3 tons. So I didn't notice it had done that, so we should have had at least 9.5 tons on board, which is plenty to get there, but not both ways. So unfortunately, when it did that, and I thought I clicked the play button, I hadn't, and I should have rechecked it, and I didn't do. I went straight onto I was more worried about getting the passengers on board, so that I messed up. My fault entirely. The sim rejected the 9.5 tons and turned it into 3 ton, and I didn't notice, and I didn't make sure it had done the 12 tons. So I assumed that even if it didn't do it right, it'd be okay because we had plenty, but I was wrong. The sim took over and killed us nearly. Luckily we can refuel in mid-air apparently. Pretend you didn't see that. Okay, I'll let you get back to your peaceful flights and I'll see you on the downside. So we were 6,000 transition altitude in London with 5,000 here. So once we get down to 5,000 feet, we'll have to drop it back to standard barometer. Sorry, normal barometer, not standard.
Shamrock Echo India 156, please expedite your descent 10,000 feet.
Oh, for God's sakes, and now ATC thinks we're not at the right height.
Shamrock Echo India 156, you are 10 miles south. Descend and maintain 5,000 feet. Expect ILS runway 10 left approach via Oslex transition. Clear to Oslex.
Descend and maintain 5,000 feet. Expect ILS runway 10 left approach via Oslex transition. Clear to Oslex. Shamrock Echo India 156.
So we can see there the radio notifications switched to the correct ILS. Or I hope it is. It's Indal 109.5. Indal is correct. The lock is Indal, and it is 109.55. So when we get to Suboff, we should be at, I need to zoom out of it, 4,000 feet to Suboff, and then a nice slow descent, and then a bit more of a steep descent. So we've got some terrain there. So we're going to have terrain warnings along this route. Just in cases, you never know. So once we turn in, we'll stabilise. Get down our flaps down to 2. And we've got an issue with one of the pressurisation systems. Okay, that's cleared, that's good.
Descend and maintain 4,000 feet. Keep speed not above 220 knots. Shamrock Echo India 156.
I'm a little bit confused as to what's going on here. It's telling me to reduce the vertical speed. And then one of the settings in there. No, switches are all okay. Packs are on. No idea what was going on there. So we just come over to Oxlex, then we turn into Sub. And as we said, Sub off is when we start our descent onto finals. I'll put flaps down because we've got a little shimmy to. It's quite a close one, and we're at reasonable speed, so just put the flaps down and make sure that the aircraft knows what it's doing and it can turn okay. What's in the cloud?
Gentlemen, as you may have noticed, we have begun our initial descent down to our destination. Now would be a good time to wrap up any business you need to take care of as we prepare for our approach. If you are up, once you return to your seat, we ask that you remain seated until the aircraft arrives safely at the gate. Flight attendants, please
Shamrock
prepare
Echo
cabin for
India
launch.
156, you are 16 miles west of Dublin. Contact Dublin Tower on 128.8 when inbound on the approach.
Tower on 128.8 Shamrock Echo India 156.
So we're going to use lock to capture the localizer. I'm going to get flaps too. $13 out. Brace. All lights run apart from main landing. Auto spoilers are armed. Flaps are 2. And like I say, auto brakes are set 2 minutes. So we're just watching this to make sure we capture the localizer, which we seem to have done now. Yeah, slowing down rather rapidly though. And we're a bit far out for flaps 3. And high cab rate again. Flaps to full. I didn't like to run. It doesn't really matter because we are below 10,000, so I'm not going to have oxygen starvation. So we're good, we're on glide slope, we're on localizer. Gear is down. Now let's wait a while, we're still 9 miles out. So as you're coming through your cruise height and then you start to descend, ATC is always too slow. And then the sim gets carried away when you get close to the airport. And then everything's too quick, so you end up when the last 15 miles feel like 3 hours because it's just done at 140 knots all the way in. And once we get to 7 miles, we'll put the gear down. So that's what we're saying about the altitude warning, because we are quite low over this terrain, which is quite high. Anyway, gears down.
Flight attendants, please prepare for that.
Lights are on. Flaps are set for full. Autospot's on. Brakes are on. Lights are on. Light slope captured. Lock. And here we go.
1,000.
2 by 2 red. Very low wind, 6 knots here.
Hundred above. Minimum.
And we're clear to land. 3 white, 1 red. 4 white.
400.
Go on, baby. 4 white. Come on. Oh, 2 white. 3 white. Good.
Fifty, 40, 30, 20. Retard. 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 Retard.
Yeah, another mistake. Quite a... what the hell? They look a bit sunken. Wow, this is a bit wobbly, this place, isn't it? So the problem was that I got so excited. I got so excited about looking at whether or not we were flying over the monument, I forgot to contact the tower for our landing clearance. Which is probably why there's an aircraft on the runway when we got there. Wow, this is a massive slope. Look at this. It's like playing golf in the dunes, this one. Wow.
Dublin ground Shamrock 267 heavy taxi to the gate. Shamrock 267 heavy taxi to gate tree 18 Charlie via taxiway Echo 2, cross runway tree 4, Alpha Lima India November Kilo 2.
I'm amazed how lumpy and bumpy it is. Although the second runway was probably not even finished. Maybe when the flight sim came out, so maybe that's the problem. Passengers got a bit of a jump to do, that'll be fine, I'm sure. So we're sitting here at Dublin Airport. We're going to fly up towards Newgrange, and then we're going to go and visit the Newgrange. I don't know what you call it. Mound. It's the prehistoric site. It's 3,200 years old. And from there we're going to go to Knowth, which is just slightly over to the northwest of it. From there, that is, like I said before, it's the most amazing place for prehistoric artwork. And then from there we're going to fly into Dowth and land at Dowth Airfield. And as we go into Dowth, the last place the Dowth circle is, sorry, mound is a little circle just before we get in there. So it's literally half a mile from the runway. And I know you're thinking, why is he going to go and visit just a clump of trees? There's a reason for it, I'll explain. So we're in the Guimbal, I don't know how you say. Guimbal. It's been a while since I've flown this thing, so yeah, a bit rusty probably. Well, that's good, that's on already. That's helpful. I seem to remember that it's really weird because there's some switches in there that we can't get to. We have to sort of jiggle ourselves around in the cockpit and go forward, turn around and look down and then go down. And then we can get to these two switches, and then we can get to these three? No. These switchy things. But I can't remember what does what, so... I'll just try and muddle through. These are quite simple controls, though, so it shouldn't be too hard. It's not like we're doing anything spectacular. Okay. I don't know what they are. Okay, let's try and get it turned on and start it up, said the bishop to the actress. That's like an on-off button, but I'm pretty sure that's just for display. Okay, so there's a battery down here somewhere. We are cold. I don't know what the hell it is. Just turn it on anyway, just in case. You can never be too turned on. So mixture to rich. The rotor brake. Yeah, that just goes off on its own, so I can't just turn it on. So let's I think now we need to do this thing and then do the rotors on. Okay.
Dublin clearance delivery Chaos Tree 2 IFR to Echo India Tango uniform ready to copy.
Chaos Tree 2 is clear. cleared to Echo India Tango Uniform Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 10, left climb and maintain 9,000 feet. Departure frequency is 132.15 squawk 0316.
Chaos Tree 2 cleared to Echo India Tango Uniform Airport is filed. Takeoff runway 10 left climb and maintain 9,000 feet. Departure on 132.15 squawk 0316.
Chaos Tree 2 repack correct. Contact ground on 121.8. Good day. Dublin clearance delivery ship.
So, so I guess it's time. Hey, and away we go, through the sky, across the snow, across Aer. So I believe that's the River Boyne below us, and the valley of the Boyne is where this all is. So a load of prehistoric relics and monuments are down here. I don't know whether they're all linked together or they're all the same thing, or it's yeah, no one really knows anything about it. So 3,200 years ago. The other one, the one we're going to go to next, in Knowth, I think that's older than Stonehenge by a couple hundred years as well. So these are all older than the pyramids, all older than Stonehenge. I can't remember when Carnac was, but basically they're all around the same time, but a general progression, it seems, from the wood circle to the stone circles and the mounds and the burial chambers, the smaller ones, and these massive things. And that is it, almost directly, well, where the red trail is. So that's it, just there. So these are all three of these are World Heritage sites. So this is Newgrange. It's a passage tomb. We probably can't go inside it. Maybe. What? No. To give you an idea, that's the size of the helicopter, and this is the size of the mound. It's pretty goddamn big. So it's almost 90 metres in diameter. I'm not sure if this wall was built originally or if this was added, because the pictures I saw were from the 1890s and it was just a little hole in the mud wall. So maybe this was added by other people, or maybe they found them lying around and realised this is how it should have been from the backside or something. I'm not sure. You can see this is like an almost weird stone circle, and from this stone circle they built it up and the mound comes from the inside of it. I'd love to see how the supports are done actually, because I want to see how close it is to Stonehenge in shape and size and general layout. But because if you imagine Stonehenge being covered, it would be a bit like this shape, but slightly more tall. I have no idea what this circle is, but that's obviously looks like a burial chamber. And then these are where the wooden posts were in the woodhenge. She would have had a wood henge here, and then this thing next to it. What is that little pillar? Pillbox type one. Pillbox type. Interesting. So that's Newgrange. So all we know is that these places were built by farmers. They just started doing farming. Agriculture was a new thing. So they were staying in place more than they had been before. Possibly, we don't know for sure. But some of them are astrological, some are spiritual. And if you're a farmer, you need to know when winter's going to start and end, when spring is coming, and etc. to plan at least a few things for yourself. You know, how long is the food going to last? Am I going to have to eat my wife? Stuff like that. And yeah, so these places had significance in many different ways. So this wooden circle, I imagine that would be more astronomical, because you'd be able to change it very easily, whereas this thing would be difficult to change. So if you notice that the sun kept rising in a different place, but only slightly differently every year, then you could move it to match, or you could maybe mark it out to match. So maybe you'd have where it used to be, then little other ones that marked where it was moving left and right of. So you could even, work out that we were travelling in a wobble. or the sun was, one or the other. But it would be interesting to be stood on top of this mound, because then you could see everything really. And the other thing is, if you look at where the valley is, that's on a natural mound itself, or is it? Or was that built up by them? I mean, yeah. But yeah. So it's a bit of a where the hills end and the plains start sort of thing, if you can call it that, with the Irish hills. Are these post hills as well? Maybe that's maybe there's a walkway with an even bigger. So I don't know what's going on. I'll have to have a look anyway. So that's the first one. That's Newgrange, and they're all known as the Bóinne, or the the Boyne River Valley stuff. There's about 35 mounds altogether. Most of them are a lot smaller than this. So let's go on to the next place. So we're off to Knowth. You can probably guess that that's that over there. I need to re-grease my throttle control, it's a bit sticky. So this is Knowth, and for some reason the sim has decided to make it into a circular warehouse. I have no idea why it's done that, but it has. It's a little bit smaller than the other one, but what are they doing? So this is the more interesting part. It's got lots of smaller mounds around it. So maybe this is collective and this is special. But notice that it's like a spearhead. I don't know why that. And these trees shouldn't be here. So these are the burials, and the tops have gone and fallen in. All the stones have been rubbed out, one or the other. So that these would have been small mounds, and inside it would have been the burial tomb, and they've collapsed. So that it's just left this like spear shape where the passage was, and the chamber was. They look like they're all single chamber. And this was the looking to the sunrise thing I was telling about. Oh, another little circle out the front. Oh, there are the shadows of it. You just can't help itself, can it? It's just put loads of houses there. There's no houses there. Oh, hang on a minute. I'm looking the wrong way, aren't I? Yeah, there are houses there. That's those houses, right? Oh, yeah, that would... Yeah. I thought it was the other side, but that's not that. That is the shadows, even though they're all going the wrong way, because they're all pointing towards each other. That's why I was doubting myself. And the big circle here, which looks like a normal classic henge, which is just a ditch with a little bit of a mound in it. Well, that's really ruined it. That's terrible. So 17 little tombs around it. Also around 3200 BC. So what's that? 5,500 years old. And in this place, that square on there, well, that rectangle, is because some rich bugger went, actually, I own this lot. I'm the king, so I'm going to build a house. So the king built his fortress type house on top of the mound. It's like, yeah, I live here. So a lot of grooved ware and Bronze Age activity, hence all the little tiny, smaller mounds, they're not tiny ones. But it was unused for 2,000 years. Amazing how much history we've lost, to be honest. So let's move on to the last place, which is going to be Dowth. And the reason I'm interested in Dowth is Dowth was apparently a lunar observatory rather than a solar observatory. So maybe they had, you know, arguments about, no, we support the round Earth and the flat Earth. We support it's the sun that's important. No, it's the moon that's important. But I mean, if we take into account several things, one is most of our animals and wildlife and plants run on both of them. Women run on lunar cycles. Human women run on lunar cycles of 28 days. And that gives us 13 in a year, which the Christians unlucky 13 to make it into 12, which was the Romans really, I guess, the end of the Romans and the beginning of the Christians. So we would have had 13 months, I guess, and there's some rumours that there were 13 astrological signs, but I don't believe in astrology anyway, so I don't care about that. Schlein. I could have sworn I saw Schlein running across there a minute ago. Well, yeah, you can see there's a stone circle around here. And then this in the middle. I should look at Stonehenge as well, I guess. So this is Stonehenge, and you've got the barrow, the henge, the excavated area. Then you've got an outer circle, then you've got the inner circles. And to me it just looks too similar. You can imagine if there was a mound over the top of that, that would be pretty similar. And then it'd have a stone ring around it, or even it'd be too high to be from this one. But if you went from that one, you could easily do a nice mound over it. So maybe they just went, hang on a minute, we'll have to spend 100 years getting earth and throwing it in. Sod that, forget my soldiers. And you've got the 1, 2, 3, you've got the big one next to it and a little one at the back, so I'm guessing the arrow's pointing north. Oh, rising sun. So what are the dotted arrows then? Yeah, not going to tell us, are they? Anyway, let's go and look at the last one. Yeah, it's a little bit more hilly here, and it's near the river, which seems to be a motif with the rivers running around them and them having pointing towards the rivers. So it should be just below us. Yeah, and this one's so small that Flight Sim has just put another circular building over it and there's nothing to see at all in there. But this one is overlook, it's as in Stonehenge, the other bit of Stonehenge. This near the river, it's just too similar to not be a running motif. You have a smaller circle near the river, the walkway to the main one, and another one nearby as well. Very, very similar. So that's that. A wonderful little trip around. Some lovely Neolithic Neolithic and Bronze Age and 3,200 Celtic. Was it Celtic? I don't think it was it?